Today we'll be talking about a Web 2.0 tool called EDpuzzle. So you're probably wondering, what is EDpuzzle? It's a website for teachers to create interactive videos for learning. Some of the features include uploading videos, trimming them, adding questions, adding audio, and comments to the videos. You can choose from a wider range of videos that are already posted and make them your own by adding your own comments, auditory things that you want kids to learn, in addition to the already created video in the lesson, and adding questions, different types of questions, and quizzes. Students are actively engaged while watching the videos, which helps them to focus and to understand while using their own personal devices so that they can log on and do this at home or in a whole group setting in the classroom. There are many different ways to use this site. Students, they create their personal logins and they can access the class videos with the teacher's code that is provided for the teacher. They can work at their own pace and at their own time to watch the lessons and answer the guiding questions. And the teacher can add the students into his or her class and keep up with their answers as a form of assessment, so you can go on and see what your students are doing. It's very easy to get started. It's free. You sign up as a teacher and follow a quick instructional tour that shows you how to get started, and then the different editing tools that you can use to create your video lesson. You'll get a class code that your students will use to log in and access the different lessons that you've created. And you can choose videos from a wide variety of subjects that you want students to learn about. So you can search and find the type of lesson that you would like for your students to learn. And then of course you edit the video by trimming it, adding comments, adding audio commentary, and then questions to the video. And here is a demonstration of how this resource works. And here you see is the first page you'll see when you go to edpuzzle.com. If you're a teacher, you click here to start, and you can start the quick tour that shows you the different editing tools when you're creating a lesson. And then this first tool shows you how to move the bars down here to trim your video. It gives you pointers that students usually are more engaged with videos that are shorter than 7 minutes long. The next type of editing tool is the question. So you'll see here the green question marks, and that's where you click the big green question mark whenever you want to add a question to your lesson. So for an example, you can practice. And then this is what it looks like when you log into your class as a teacher, and you can see what each of your students has done for the different lessons. So it tells you if they've watched it or not, if they've watched it completely. So this person stopped after 1 minute and 18 seconds and never finished the video. It shows you which questions they got right or wrong, if it was submitted on time or if it was late, and their grade of the questions, the percentage of the questions that they got correct. And then you're ready to start your first lesson. You can sign up with Google or Edmodo, or of course just use your personal email account. And I've already practiced and made an account. So this takes you to my class. I signed in as a general education teacher, but you can of course pick a different subject area and your grade level. And this is the assignment that I created when I first practiced. It's very easy to start a video. You can search different subjects. They get their videos from YouTube, Khan Academy, LearnZillion, National Geographic, TED Ed, and many more different sites. So here, if I were searching, I could search for fractions, and it will give me a list of different video lessons for fractions, and that's where you can start. You can also upload your own videos and edit them from this button right here up at the top right hand corner to upload your own videos. Back to my courses. Here is an example of a video that I created. I first trimmed it to where I thought it would be appropriate for the students at 6 minutes and 12 seconds. The original was much longer than that. And the yellow is where I've added audio, and the green question marks are quiz questions that I've added in.
I wonder what I should wear for the fancy dress party this evening.
Do you want to make a cool mask for your friends? My name is Akashi, and I am from Japan. We have an ancient paper folding art called origami there, and today we'll use it to have some fun. I can teach you how to make a mask that will have your friends wanting one too.
Cool. Let me go and get some paper.
Now, we are going to try and make a mask that looks like a dog's face from this paper. Are you ready?
Yes, let's start. Ooh, I can't wait to finish this mask and wear it.
The first step is to fold the paper in
Now you can see that this is one hole. The paper is one hole.
half. Your paper should look like this.
But that is not half. That is a triangle. I wish I had someone to help me. Oh, wait a minute. Time to use my gizmo.
Hi, who are you? And what's the matter?
Hello, I'm JC. I folded this paper into half like this. But you folded it so that yours looks like a triangle. I'm confused.
Don't worry, JC. I'm here to help. Let me show you something. See, if I fold this paper so that the corners touch each other, it means it is divided into two equal parts. That is, it is folded into half.
But that's not folded straight.
It doesn't matter whether you fold it horizontally or vertically or even diagonally, as long as the two parts are equal. So remember this, when one whole shape is divided into two equal parts.
So here it pauses whenever it gets to the question, and the students have a chance to answer yes or no. You can add your own multiple choice options. You can also put questions that are open-ended, or you can allow for students to add comments at different times. So here you would answer the question and submit it, continue, and the video
Two equal
continues.
pieces of the whole are
And that's just an example of a type of lesson that you might create using those different editing tools. This tool provides communication and critical thinking for students. The students communicate with the teacher by using the class code, and they connect as a class. This is the example of the class code here. Students must be responsible to complete the lessons by the due date, and they think critically about the questions presented in the lesson and answering them. So the questions can be multiple choice, open-ended, or they can just provide comments to help foster their deeper thinking about the content. It's important when you're creating these lessons to try to pose those questions that will allow for the students to think critically about what they are watching. It also provides some creativity and collaboration. Students are able to create their own video lessons, which will be a great way for them to teach the class something that they've learned. They would really have to know the content in order to present it and teach the class. The only thing is that they cannot create the videos on the student login. They would have to have the teacher's access to get to the videos and the content to create the lessons. The assessment tool in this website is great because students do not feel the pressure of the assessments. They are engaged while watching the videos. and helps them to pay attention so that they are capable of answering these questions on the different types of quizzes. And then it's very personal. Only the teacher sees those scores in which students are completing their assignments and answering the questions correctly. The videos are creative and they allow students to engage more with the content that they are seeing, rather than just sitting down and listening to a lecture by a teacher. This is an example of the student login, what the student would see if they were to go into it. And you can come here, I'm a new student, and you can actually go in and add your students if you want as a teacher, or they have the option of doing it themselves. I've already created an example student and put in the code so that they are added to my class. So when the student goes in, they see these are the assignments that are due soon. I've set a date June 30th, and here would be where upcoming assignments would be, but I've not added any to my class. So this is the video that we just watched. This student has completed 60% of it, answered both of the questions, 2 out of 2, and gotten them correctly. But here they would go to continue where they've left off. You can always go back and re-watch different parts of the lesson, and the teacher sees how many times the student has gone back to watch parts of the lesson, which could be a great tool for figuring out what areas the students might not understand as clearly. Could be used as a form of assessment to see what needs to be taught a little more in depth. So it is very, the student leads their own learning. They are responsible for when they do the different lessons, how quickly they complete them on time. It adds a bit of responsibility for the student. There are some limitations and recommendations for EDpuzzle. It's a difficult tool to use if the students do not have access to individual devices where they could be doing the lessons on their own, either at home or at school. And I know some schools don't have individual devices for every student. Maybe you could take them to the computer lab and they all know their login. There are different ways that you could approach it, but they have to have access to some devices for this site. It also requires an internet connection. I think it would be a great app if it was created into like a mobile app so the students could use the tool wherever they are on the go and watch the lessons that their teachers have created anywhere that they want to. As Jansen says, it is important for instructors to tie lessons learned from either the analytic data or the student work within these tools to higher order learning activities to achieve deeper thinking. So again, it's important that in order to have the students thinking critically while engaged in the videos, those kinds of questions and comments and audio that you add to the video is really going to help students to achieve that deeper thinking. And I think I would enjoy having a place for discussion so that students can pose more questions or comments regarding the lesson and other students or the teacher that they can respond to. So like a place for students and the teacher to collaborate and discuss and just to have that communication among one another would be a great thing that could be incorporated into this tool. Some research on Web 2.0 and video lessons from some different academic journals. Edudemic says that EDpuzzle is a very simple tool that you can quickly create individualized video lessons for different students and their particular needs or areas of interest. It's very, you can make them very individualized and you can customize those lessons to suit the needs of your students. Jansen also says that course videos can demonstrate processes or concepts that may be difficult to convey through text or lecture alone. So it really provides that visual that many students need in order to grasp the concept and learn. By instructors adding questions to the video, students become more engaged in the learning process and the learning becomes active rather than passive. So the students aren't just sitting there taking in what you're saying, but they are engaged and they have an active participation and answering the questions and engaging in the content. The video is becoming one of the most prevalent methods of conveying information for learning for all ages, particularly in the growing fields of online, blended, and flipped classes. So it's really becoming more prevalent as a means of engaging those students. Zahn et al. Says potential benefits of media on learning reveals causal mechanisms influence cognitive and social processes when students interact with media. So in this day and age, these students are really interacting with media on their own anyways, and having them to interact while they're learning is really engaging for these students. The affordances of specific video tools can better support learners' interactions to make them more productive compared to those performed with simple technological solutions, resulting in improved learning outcomes. So they really are learning more when they're engaged in these specific video tools to support their interactions. Students' positive attitudes and slight increase in their performance prove benefits of providing video lectures throughout a course. So having like a mixed type of classroom where part of it is using media and technology, and this Web 2.0 really gives them more of a positive attitude and increases their performance and motivation while learning. And finally, these are some of the references that I used to research the different types of Web 2.0 and video lessons specifically.